What is test-driven development, aka TDD? I'm really glad you asked. Welcome to Development That Pays. My name is Gary Strawn. First things first, if we're going to talk about test-driven development, we first need to talk about the particular type of test that underlies TDD, unit tests. Now, I first came across unit testing in about 2008. By that point, I'd been developing full-time for a few years, and I thought I had it down. But I found writing unit tests to be hard. Damned hard. 10 times harder than writing code. Actually quite depressing. I eventually discovered that it wasn't my fault. Much of the stuff that I thought was impossible to test really was impossible to test. It wasn't me after all. Why were the tests impossible to write? Well, I was trying and failing to write a test for something that wasn't like a spark plug. Remember in the last episode, we talked about testing the gap of a spark plug? Now that's a perfect example of a unit test. Another perfect example would be a test of its resistance. With the right equipment, we could even perform a unit test to confirm that it sparks. All of these tests are possible because there's something special about a spark plug. It's testable. By design, it can be removed from the engine. It's one of the few things in the world that has a more or less standardized tool for removing it. Now, my guess is that spark plugs weren't designed specifically to be testable. I think it's probably the case that spark plugs were designed to be replaceable, and testability came as a very useful side effect. It's been my experience that things rarely evolve naturally to be replaceable and testable. They're replaceable and testable by design, or not at all. Nowhere is this more true than with software. I can say with a high level of confidence that if your codebase does not have unit tests, then your codebase consists largely of untestable code. Which brings us nicely on to test-driven development. Test-driven development, as the name suggests, is a process by which tests are written before the code. But this doesn't mean writing all of the tests and then writing all of the code. It's much more subtle than that. You start by writing just one test, a very small test. Then you write some code, just enough code to get the test to pass. Then you write another small test, and you rinse and repeat. The code and the tests are born and grow together. The testability of the code is built in. Writing unit tests is much easier for new code than for existing code, but that's not to say that it's trivial. There is a complication. The key to a unit test is to test the unit in isolation. If you saw the previous episode, you'll remember the test where I removed the plug cap, unscrewed the spark plug, plugged it back into the plug cap, and jumped on the Kickstarter. I was testing to see if there was a spark, but I was not performing a unit test. That's because the test was not a test of the spark plug in isolation. It was actually a test of a whole host of components working together. Now, a unit test is possible, it just needs some additional equipment. This device takes the place of the battery and a whole array of electrical equipment. The device is assumed to be working, so if there's no spark, we know that it's the spark plug that's at fault. The software equivalent of providing this additional equipment is called faking or mocking. To give you a quick example of this, if I write a function to determine if the current year is a leap year, I'm going to want to mock the date. That way I can feed in a whole series of dates and test that I get the right result in each case. Alas, mocking isn't always so easy. There are many real-world cases where creating suitable mocks can be tricky and time-consuming. But the payback, and this is a key advantage of unit testing, is that when a test fails, you know exactly what failed. If all of this sounds a little bit too much like hard work, you may be interested to learn about behavior-driven development, which, by happy coincidence, is the subject of our very next episode. If you haven't already done so, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to this channel. That way you'll be notified the moment a new episode is ready. Click the button, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Cheers for now.